His illustrations are admired far and wide, and I'm sure he's received some love from you on Facebook and Instagram. But artist Inkquisitive's work is more than what meets the eye. Ink, we meet again after 3 years. So great seeing you.
Well, firstly, it's a pleasure to be part of this once again.
I was flipping through your Instagram feed because that's where you're at these days with your beautiful pieces of work. And you're just creating art, like pieces about everyday people. And then you had this one about Trump.
Yeah.
And I thought that image of Trump beautifully described who you were.
Yeah.
That you had a beautiful piece of work and it had a message that packed in a punch. Tell me about that.
Yeah, you know what? I am all about being an artist that has emotion. I'm triggered by what affects me the most. The Trump piece alone, that specific piece is very, very specific and direct. So I'm not much of a Trump lover. So yeah, I'm sure you
Dump
got
Trump was the hashtag.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And it actually we went a bit viral on Twitter. So that was, it was exciting. So yeah.
So are you afraid to put yourself out like that? Because he's quite the controversial figure.
No, yeah,
and
most
using
certainly.
that as an example.
Yeah.
Taking your mind space, translating it onto the canvas and then putting it out there for interpretation. Are you afraid at all?
I used to be.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 5 years now. The first 2 years, I feel like I became too much of a people pleaser. I was doing things only what society would appreciate. Yeah. And then I got into a state of mind where I was like, I need to be honest with myself. This is my profession. This is my value. And the only way I can put out honest art is if it matters to, if what content I put out matters to me. Now it's not so much, obviously with respect to the content I put out, but it's not so much thinking about what's he or she gonna say. And I feel like that's what expression is at its fullest. And
so what's that content now that matters to you?
You know what, I feel like it's just based on my emotions. I feel like whatever hits me hard, this could be political, it could be a song, it could be religious. I just need to put whatever comes to mind. Like, it's interesting because a lot of my artwork it's very spontaneous. I don't know how a piece is going to look until I've done it.
Oh, wow.
And with that said, it's a gift for me now. Like, I like knowing I don't know. Like some artists sketch out things. I don't do that. So whatever I feel, for example, talking about the Trump piece, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show him very like a controversial kind of piece, and have him identical to someone we already know that's a bit of a major one. So
yeah, that was quite the comparison.
Yeah,
there.
And you're right. It's a very fragile topic because I heard there was another artist that did a piece on Trump and she got beaten up by Trump followers.
Yeah.
So,
did you know that after doing the piece?
Yeah, after the piece. Yeah, but again, you know what? I stand for my word. I stand for my say, man.
So it would never have stopped you if you knew that before then.
Not at all, man. Like I said, honest art is what matters to me, and I need to be honest with everyone that I'm putting my art towards.
Yeah. Does your work heal you? Because I know in many ways it heals a lot of people. You've with Tupac, and you've got such strong musical influences in your life too, and you put them in your work. Is it healing for you? That process?
Most certainly. It's very therapeutic as well. The process of actually producing artwork. I actually got bullied at art class when I was young, so I always went through that stage of thinking my art wasn't good enough because my teacher used to want us to do something in a specific way. So now I come to it and I almost see it as a challenge to do things. And I love that whole, I produced this. It makes me feel, it's like a cure and a curse now. Yeah. The curse is that sometimes, people will say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You got a turban person, you got a profession as art. Not true, but no. It is a healing process for me. I love it. I love knowing that I'm doing something that I'm passionate about and it's a profession. And for that very reason, it's my medicine now.
Now, for those who don't know you, I mean, you can never really judge an artist by his or her work. But I feel that when you flip through your social feeds and you see various different pieces that you've created over the years, they're fragments of your identity. Who is Ink?
Who is Ink? Ink is someone that who takes life with the seatbelt off for a start, and he is someone who enjoys his flaws and his imperfections and has learned to love them. And he's also someone that doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. Ask me 5 years ago or 4 years ago when we did our first interview, where would I be now? My answer would have been still, I have no idea. I don't know where I want to go, but I love knowing that I don't have a plan.
You literally don't have a plan because you don't even know how your work is going to turn out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing is that everything is a gift for me now. So Ink is very spontaneous and I love knowing that.
What's the message you want people to take away from your work? Because everything has such a powerful message behind it, whether it's political, social, cultural, but it's something you want to tell people.
Yeah, no, most certainly. I've gone through the stage in the last year where I want to explain my work and I don't. Sometimes I feel like if you explain your work, you take away the element of expression for someone. For example, when I had an exhibition in New York, I drew someone and it was no one that we know of, but someone saw their granddad in that piece and so they purchased it. But really for me, and I'll be honest with you, I'm told the person that bought it is actually a gorilla I drew. But they were like, you know, this is actually how my granddad sees elements and knows the space between the eyes.
Wow.
So, you know, with that said, you know, I don't like to dictate my work too much now. But what I do want people to take from my work is to become an artist. When they see my artwork, it's whatever they see. I want them to explain what they see to me. Like, the second they lay eyes on a piece, I want them to be like, well, this is what I've done. I see this, I see that. There's no right and wrong in art. And I feel like people forget that sometimes.
And so what's your advice to people? Because you've clearly grown over the past few years and your work is indicative of that. What's your advice to young budding artists out there who are afraid to put the brush to the canvas?
Yeah, well, firstly, now with social media about it's the most biggest blessing we have. But I think the thing that got me going and the reason I'm sitting here with you right now is consistency. The biggest thing has been consistency. I don't paint Monday, Wednesday, Friday for people. I paint for myself. If people connect with it, it's a beautiful thing. If they don't, that's no problem. I paint for myself. I travel for myself. If people want to come to an exhibition, great. If they don't, that's okay. I feel like the second you start, or you know, upcoming budding artists start doing things for themselves, they'll realize that they have a massive portfolio of work with a long way to go. So consistency is key for me, and I feel like that's why I am here where I am.
Yeah. And I hope you're consistent to the end. High five, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on Date with Daniel. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel for more quick, quirky, fun, and insightful chats.